Every noble house has that one child everyone quietly writes off. For the McCain family, that child was the eldest son, Logan. He trained with the sword for 10 long years and had almost nothing to show for it. Meanwhile, his younger brother Ronan picked up a blade just 3 years ago and was already being called a genius. Eaten alive by jealousy, Logan did the unthinkable. He slipped a paralysis poison to his own brother. His father's judgment was instant. "You're no longer my son." By the time Logan understood what he'd thrown away, it was far too late. The Empire had crushed his family, and Ronan was dragged to a public execution. Logan spent the rest of his life as a mercenary living only for revenge against the Ares Empire. And when he finally died surrounded by enemies, he carried one regret he couldn't release even in death. He never once begged his family for forgiveness. Then he opened his eyes to a voice that had been gone for 30 years. He was back at the very beginning, before the fall, before the executions. And this time, he swore he would change absolutely everything. This is Regressor of the Fallen Family. Let's get into it. What's up, everyone? And welcome back to Apex Manhwa, your home for handcrafted manhwa recaps. If you enjoy the video, do me a quick favor. Smash that like button, hit subscribe so you never miss a recap, and drop a comment telling me what you think. I read every single one. All right, let's get into it. We open in the Ares Empire, a vast realm that has swallowed the kingdoms around it. On a quiet city street, two guards share a lazy conversation. "Isn't it peaceful today?" one of them says. "Peaceful," the other scoffs. Who knows when those revolutionaries will act up again? Still, they agree, it's been quiet lately. Maybe the Empire's knights finally wiped the rebels out. But in the shadows, the revolution is very much alive. Tonight, its members whisper, "We will kill the emperor and bring down the empire." This is the only way to reclaim the kingdom the Ares Empire stole from them. And one man is handed the most important role of all, a red-haired mercenary named Logan McCain. His task is to protect a secret text at all costs, an ancient book only he can read. Simply possessing that book makes him the #1 target of the entire Empire military. A comrade calls him patriotic, but Logan corrects him. "This isn't about patriotism," he says. "It's about revenge." Because Logan wasn't always a mercenary. Once, he was the eldest son of a noble house, and a complete good-for-nothing. He'd trained with the sword for 10 years, while his younger brother Ronan picked one up only 3 years ago. And Ronan was a monster of talent. Everyone already whispered that he was a genius, and that Logan was hopeless. The servants shook their heads. With a fool like this as the heir, the future of the McCain family looked bleak. Consumed by that inferiority, Logan crossed a line he could never uncross. He poisoned his own brother with a paralysis toxin. His father was merciless. "Get out," he ordered. For that sin, he declared, "You are no longer my son." And so Logan was cast out. He left the family name behind and survived as a mercenary. By the time he wanted to make things right, it was already too late. Word spread through the city of a public hanging in the square. The prisoner had a name Logan knew: Ronan McCain, his little brother, an aura user who had fought the Empire on the front lines. The royal family he bled for had simply run off and abandoned him to die. The crowd cheered as the Empire paraded the death of a fool who dared to defy them. Something in Logan snapped. "For killing my family," he snarled, "and for stealing my one chance to ever beg forgiveness." He tore through the square with the secret book, Empire soldiers screaming that the redhead had their treasure. They surrounded him from every side. "Surrender and give up the secret text," they demanded. Bleeding and cornered, Logan asked himself a quiet question. "Is this where I die?" He made his choice. If he was going down, he'd take every one of them with him. "Let's all die," he growled. And as the light faded, he took stock of his life. A life lived only for revenge, filled with nothing but regret. His single greatest regret, the one he couldn't release even in death, was that he never once got to beg his family for forgiveness. His last wish was simple, that somehow, in the afterlife, he might see his family again. Then a splitting headache, which made no sense because he was supposed to be dead. "Young master, are you all right?" a voice asked. Logan looked up and froze. "Rick, his loyal servant, standing right in front of him, asking how he felt. "But Rick died 30 years ago," Logan whispered. "How are you alive?" He looked around and saw the McCain family crest on every wall, a place he never thought he'd stand again. Then another voice reached him, softer than the rest, and Logan's breath caught. "Ronan?" He recognized the moment instantly. This was the day after their very first duel, the one he had lost so pathetically. Back then he'd screamed at Ronan to fuck off, calling him nothing more than the child of a concubine. After that cruelty, Ronan had stopped coming to see him for good. But now, given a moment back, Logan did the opposite. "Ronan," he said gently, "you can come closer." Ronan kept apologizing for the duel, and Logan's chest tightened. "You didn't do anything wrong," he told him, because Logan knew the truth. Someone this kind was going to be executed for a kingdom that would betray him. And for the first time in 2 lifetimes, Logan broke down and wept. "I'm so sorry," he said again and again. Confused but gentle, Ronan promised to visit again and left his brother to rest. Alone, Logan steadied himself. If this wasn't a dream, if he really was back in the past, then he would change everything. He called Rick back in with an unexpected request. "Bring me a pen and paper." And when he thanked the stunned servant, Rick nearly fell over. The arrogant young master he knew would never say thank you. Logan's second life, and his war to save his fallen family, had begun. The morning after his regression, a young maid stumbles and falls right in front of Logan. "Why did I have to trip in front of the young master of all people?" she panics. "I'm dead." But instead of the cruelty she braces for, Logan simply asks if she's okay. The poor girl throws herself down, begging forgiveness, utterly baffled by the kindness. This new Logan will take some getting used to. His first real test comes when he requests an audience with the family patriarch. His father is stunned, he'd even show his face. Because in his first life, these are the last words his father ever gave him. "You're no longer my child." For years after being cast out, Logan had resented the man, certain his father was cold and heartless. But now, with older eyes, he sees how foolish that was. How heartbroken must a parent be, he wonders, to cast out their own child. So he steadies himself and steps inside. "Greetings, father." "It's me, Logan." The sight of the man he wronged nearly undoes him. "Father," he breathes, the word catching in his throat. His father only studies him coldly. "You look better than I thought," he says. For Logan, it's been over 20 years since he saw this face. But to his father, it's just another day with a disappointing son. "So what is it?" Logan makes his request. He asks permission to go into isolated training on the family's private grounds. Because Logan knows the real question that matters. Winning the coming regional war means strengthening the whole territory, stronger knights, better weapons, and more. And every last one of them comes down to a single thing: money. He needs money. But there's a catch. The McCains are notorious across the kingdom for being flat broke. Still, Logan knows a secret. An incident 3 months from now that, seized correctly, could earn a full year of the family's budget in one stroke. For that he needs real strength. But his father misreads him. "Do you want to run away because you lost your little brother?" "I'm tired," the patriarch sighs. "I've heard you promise to change too many times before." But this time Logan doesn't argue. He admits it plainly. "Instead of facing my own shortcomings, I took my anger out on everyone else. Through this training, I want to get even that immaturity under control. Please, Father, allow me." Something in the words reaches the old man. For once, it doesn't sound like a lame excuse. "You think that little time is enough to catch up to Ronan?" his father asks. But Logan shakes his head. This isn't about beating Ronan. His father studies him a long moment. "You certainly seem to have changed a little." Then he gives his answer. "Fine, I'll allow it." The word Logan says next is one this man has never heard from his son. "Thank you." As Logan turns to leave, his father speaks again, quieter. "It's still spring. The family burial grounds will be too cold to sleep in. So take care to stay warm." A small warmth hidden under all that coldness that Logan never noticed the first time around. A few days later, Logan settles into the family's remote burial grounds. Only direct McCain blood may enter, so no one will disturb him here. Then, hidden away in the grounds, he finds exactly what he came for: Found it, he murmurs. The divine sword secrets. In his previous life, he memorized this very book and burned it, so the Empire could never claim it. Its pages hold techniques from an ancient hero, the legendary swordsman who once slew the evil dragon that ruled the world. With his future knowledge, Logan has already transcribed it in the Resistance Army's secret code, so no other soul can read a word of it. If the book is true, then once he masters it, not even the Empire's Aura Masters or Archimages will frighten him. Before he regressed, he was too old and too untalented to try. But right now, he is everything he lacked before. This time, he actually has a chance. The secret is to reshape the body itself using a life energy called force, then gather it toward the heart and forge it into a core. It's a brutal task for anyone of average talent. The old Logan would have collapsed at this very step. But as he suspected, after regressing, his force has evolved in every way. Then he feels it. Wait, the core is already forming? Far faster than it ever should. An enormous, dense energy comes bursting out of him, and his whole body drinks it in like rain after a long, cruel drought. His body is remade into something built to wield a blade. His constitution and his very senses take a complete turn. He can't explain how the core formed so quickly, but at this rate, after 3 full months he'll be stronger than he ever dreamed. Great, he grins and throws himself into training, swinging his blade day and night, until at last he's ready to attempt one of the 10 sword techniques recorded in the secret book. A sword that cuts through time and space itself. The time-space slash. With only a single 1-star core, it's the one and only technique within his reach. The very first form. He sets his stance and vows to land it, whatever it takes. He pours every ounce of force into the blade and swings, and the air itself splits, the slash tearing clean through everything in its path. And Logan can only laugh, giddy and breathless at what he's just done. This power is beyond anything I imagined. He marvels. It's not a technique any beginner force user should be able to pull off. It leaves him drained after a single strike, but as a hidden trump card, it's a devastating one to have up his sleeve. He's accomplished everything he set out to do, but when he returns to the mansion, a guard blocks his path. I'm sorry, but the Patriarch cannot see you. Logan is confused. Why? Is my father unwell? The knight cites family law. Even direct blood relatives cannot see the Patriarch without prior notice. Have you forgotten, young master? Something is off. This never happened in his previous life, where he met his father exactly this way just 3 months ago. And with his force-sharpened senses, Logan can now hear the truth. Sneering voices drifting out from inside the mansion. He's a coward, they whisper, who ran away after losing to his little brother. Even household staff take him for a joke. His reputation, he realizes, hit rock bottom while he was away. So low that even the family knights openly mock him. He'd meant to change his reputation slowly and gently, but this insolence forces his hand. He asks the knight his name. The knight answers with a smug flourish. It's Dominan, young master. You blocked me from my own father with a dead family rule, Logan says, and humiliated me the whole time with that insolent attitude. So Logan declares I, Logan McCain, to repay this unjust humiliation, challenge you, Sir Dominan, to a duel. The knights are floored. What'd he just say? I can't believe you'd tuck your tail against a rumored coward, Logan goads. I guess you're all past your prime. Stung, Dominan takes the bait. Fine, he growls. I accept. And just like that, the duel is set. Logan's first real chance to show the world exactly who he's become. The whole yard is buzzing. Is the young master really going up against a knight? One soldier gasps. This is going to be bad. They remember how Ronan beat him bloody just months ago, then how he vanished into hiding for 3 months. How long will that coward even last, they laugh. So they start placing bets. 10 gold says he won't last 10 minutes. 100 gold says 5. His servant Rick eyes him nervously. You look awfully relaxed, young master, he says. Logan only smirks. The knight, Dominion, picked this fight, yet won't dare say a word to a McCain in front of the others. The man has no guts at all. We're screwed, someone wails. Rick looks so tense he forgets to breathe. The official duel between Logan McCain and Sir Dominion is called to begin. For safety, the referee declares, only wooden weapons will be used. Wooden weapons or not, he thinks a knight is a force user. Dominion could kill a man with a stick. Whatever happens here won't be on my hands. For God's sake, Sir Dominion, he mutters. Go easy on him. Then the call rings out. The duel starts now. The crowd stiffens. Dominion, don't tell me you're planning to use force. He's really going all out against a normal person. Isn't this just cheating? If the young master takes a hit like that. Sir Dominion, please be gentle. To Logan's trained eye, it's the opposite. The leaking force is a sign the man is clumsy, unable to even control his own power. The jab lands. You call me past my prime. Dominion seethes, thinking of the years slipping by. So I guess you're all fired up now, Logan needles, that you've got nothing left to lose. Dominion snaps. How dare someone like you? He roars and charges. The young master's going to die, the crowd screams. Somebody stop him, but the referee won't move. He agreed to this himself. I've decided to retire anyway, Dominion snarls. I'll end you with my secret technique. Logan stands calm in the storm. I don't know what you're on about, he says quietly, but I do know one thing. You call yourself a knight? Logan says coldly, closing the distance. No way, the soldiers stammer. I couldn't see a thing. The first young master is Dominion Eshmindrios. I'm weaker than that kid. Impossible. Broken and cornered, Dominion finally croaks it out. I admit my deef. I've shown more than enough mercy, Logan says, to a vassal who tried to rebel against his superior. What's left now is a beating. Dominion gasps and begs him to stop. That's so cruel, the crowd winces. Shouldn't somebody be stopping him? Is this really the young master they knew? How did he change this much in 3 months? His force has awakened, and even his swordsmanship is unrecognizable. He fights. They marvel, like a man who's been a swordsman for decades. At last the referee calls it, and the winner is Logan McCain. The name he once dragged through the mud now rings out in victory. From the sidelines, a familiar figure speaks. That was impressive. It's his father. What happened during your training? He asks. It seems you've awakened. I let go of my greed, Logan explains, and just gave up everything. As I trained with that mindset, I felt force fill me, and I could hardly believe it. It sounds like a lie, but it's a truth from his past life. Only after he abandoned everything for revenge did he finally become a force user. But he presses, after gaining such a realization. Your first act is to assault a knight? That man deserved it, Logan answers flatly. You heard the whole story from the soldiers yourself. Yeah, I did, his father admits. Even so, was there really any need to go that far? That man tried to mock the blood of his lord and make a joke of me. Left unchecked, he'd have been poisoned to the family's discipline. There's a harder lesson, too, one he learned over years in the field. When you rein in armed men, you do it properly in a single strike. Today will be a warning to every other knight. His father concedes the point. Dominion is largely at fault, he says, for forgetting his duty and trying to fool you. Make no mistake, his father says. You'll do nothing like this again without my permission. I'm not saying what you did was right. Your fiancée, Rena, will be visiting soon. Ah, Logan réalise. So she's finally coming. And the household erupts. Here comes Princess Rena, they cry, as her arrival sets the estate abuzz. A grand carriage rolls up to the McCain estate. Here comes Princess Rena Wolves. The announcement rings out. The servants can't hide their envy. The young master is so lucky, they whisper, watching the beautiful noblewoman step down. She greets the head of the house warmly. Greetings, Lord McCain, she says. It's been far too long. Everyone marvels. They'd known her as a child, but she'd grown into something unbelievably beautiful. Yet one person doesn't share the joy. Logan, the man who should be happiest, watches her with cold, knowing eyes. Rena's escort steps forward. I will now read the letter the Count has entrusted to me, he announces. 30 minutes later, the envoy is still droning on, and the whole hall is drowning in the endless formalities. Finally, the real message surfaces. Due to unavoidable circumstances, the letter says, the House of Wolves requests to break off the arranged marriage. Logan sees straight through the polite wrapping to the insult buried underneath. The Wolf had expected Baron Patrick McCain to become an aura user, but he'd been stuck as a mere high-ranking knight for over 20 years. And your son is just the worst, the message sneers. Why should we lower our standards to join hands with you? So let's just go our separate ways. Goodbye. Stripped of the flowery language, that is what they truly mean. Breaking the engagement with no proper reason. Is House Wolves trying to humiliate the McCains? Rena plays the innocent. How could we, Baron? She pleads. I asked to be the envoy myself because I was so worried. The moments I made with young Master Logan in this beautiful place are precious to me, she says sweetly. I could never abandon them, but I am bound to my family. I had no choice but to come and apologize to you and Logan in person. The onlookers melt. Oh my, they murmur. Her heart is as beautiful as her face. But the Baron isn't charmed. So what is the real reason for this, young Lady Rena? Logan already knows who's behind it. This is the work of Marion Kairos, his stepmother, and Ronan's birth mother, who'd always seen him as an enemy over the succession. Rena feigns helplessness. I'm only a woman being married off, she says. My father doesn't share important family matters with me. Then the envoy plays the real card. In return, House Wolves intends to pay 3 million gold as compensation for breaking the engagement. 3 million. The number detonates through the hall. McCain's financial manager, Dwayne Filsner, can barely contain himself. Now, if I could just get this money into my hands, he schemes. But the Baron erupts. How dare you? He thunders, drawing his blade. A young wolf's knight rushes to shield Rena. Lady, get behind me, he cries, straining against the Baron's fury. I, Rockfern, a knight of the House of Wolves, beg you, Baron, please calm yourself. The Baron eyes him coldly. Injuring the wolf's rising star, he muses, would be fair trade for the disgrace to McCain honor. Our patriarch called you a man of honor, Lord McCain, Rockfern says. He swore you'd never harm a young princess or a junior knight. We don't seek to buy honor with money, the knight insists. Accept it as a sincere gesture of friendship between our families. The Baron lowers his sword, seeing the trap. If I press further, I become a man without honor. Is that what you counted on, Kieran Wolves? He growls. Still, the House of McCain does not persecute its guests, he decides. But we won't accept your one-sided offer either. In exchange for breaking the engagement, House McCain asks only one thing. That the envoy, Rena Wolves, courteously apologize to my son. I refuse any other compensation. The Wolves' men are awestruck. This is what real nobility looks like, they whisper. But then a voice cuts in. My lord, wait. It's Logan. As the man at the center of this broken engagement, I have a request, he says. We must take the money. Are you saying you'll make me go back on my word, Logan? His father demands. House McCain is not so poor that we must abandon our honor for money. The Baron says firmly. No, we are that poor. Logan fires back, and the whole hall freezes. What? House McCain owes the bank 3 million gold right now. He reveals, and without the Kairos family's support, we'd be bankrupt this very moment. The kingdom's greatest beggar family, Logan says bluntly. We're flat broke. He reins it in. I'd love to say all that out loud, but since this is an official meeting, I'll keep it to myself for now. The real reason we must take the 3 million, he continues, is none other than our honor. House Wolves outranks us. End this with just an apology, and rumors will spread that the McCains bowed to the Wolves. Logan turns on Rena, mocking her act. You come to break the engagement one-sidedly, yet you lecture us about honor. Don't you find that ridiculous, princess? Because Logan remembers. In his previous life, he believed Rena was genuinely heartbroken over their forced breakup. She'd smiled and thanked him for coming. We may have to part today, she'd said, but I still want to make one last memory with you. The young, foolish Logan had fallen for it completely. My life is ruined anyway, he'd thought. Better to risk it all for the woman I love and run away. Rena, come with me tonight, he begged. Let's leave. And her face had turned to ice. Do you really think someone like you belongs with me? Learn your place and get lost. You lost to a little kid, she'd sneered. Why do you even carry a sword? Thanks to you, Everything became so much easier for me. Then she'd scream for the guards, playing the victim. Why young Master Logan suddenly became aggressive and she'd framed him cleanly. Already blamed for so many past mistakes. Even his own family hadn't believed his side of the story. And so the McCains had been forced to grovel to the wolves and pay a crushing compensation on top of it. Because of you, Logan had once vowed, I can never trust a woman again. You damned snake. Back in the present, Logan is certain of her plan. She means to walk away clean again with this one-sided offer. But not this time. You're not getting away with it, Logan swears. Not again. At first, Logan thought he'd simply change his reputation within the family, one step at a time. Slowly show them how much he'd changed, win them over bit by bit. And then, someday, the McCain family itself would change too. That's what he told himself, at least. But his clash with Dominion forced a harsh realization. The soldiers turned a blind eye even when he was openly disrespected. And while he was away, ugly rumors about him only spread. He'd been fooling himself, thinking he could transform the family by earning the approval of people like that. With only 9 months left before the regional war, Logan decided his reputation no longer mattered. One thing came before everything else. He had to save the family, no matter what. So when the princess offered compensation for the broken engagement, Logan made up his mind to accept it, regardless of what his family wanted. His father erupted. Logan, how dare you defy my will? Logan stood firm. He could not be satisfied with hollow, lip-service apologies. If their honor could be bought back with empty words, then that honor was worth just as little as the words themselves. The wolves of the opposing house declared they would obey the will of the patriarch of House McCain. They turned to the negotiating table. What's your choice, Baron? Logan saw through it. The princess talked of sincerity, but it was all about saving her father's face, terrified of paying out 3 million gold. His father spoke first. As the McCain representative, he said he would be satisfied with a sincere apology. However, he'd leave the final decision to Logan. Whether the apology was sincere enough was Logan's call to make. But his father added a warning. Think carefully, Logan. If you accept money for your dishonor, you open the door for your honor to be bought and sold again in the future. Logan didn't waver. I'm sorry, father, he said, but I can't back down either, not as the one whose engagement was broken. I accept the compensation offered by the House of Wolves. His father's face fell. I thought you'd changed a little, but you've only changed for the worse. He blamed himself. It's my fault, he said, for never teaching you the true value of honor. Logan let the words land, but he didn't flinch. He was doing all of it for the sake of the family. And with the deal sealed, the compensation was his. Finally, he thought, it's in my hands. 3 million gold. He forced himself to stay calm. Get into the bank first, he told himself. Don't get too excited. A knock at the door. Is that Rick? He called. Colmaine. But it wasn't Rick. Ahem. Excuse me, young master, said a very different visitor. Logan squinted. Aren't you Dwayne? Dwayne Filsner, the family's financial manager and his father's most trusted man, which meant that smiling greeting was not for Logan's benefit. What's he up to? Logan wondered. Behind that smile, Dwayne was sweating. This, he thought, was the biggest challenge of his life. For years, as McCain's financial manager, he'd run the entire estate on an ever-shrinking budget, forced to choose between winter supplies for servants and new weapons for the soldiers. He'd covered the shortfalls by begging the patriarch's in-laws for money over and over. MIA financial manager, he'd despaired, or the boss of beggars. If this weren't his hometown, he'd have quit long ago. But right now, he had a chance to breathe easy for a few years. And his opponent, he figured, was just a clueless, foolish kid. So he came out with it. I'm sorry, young master, but you're going to have to share that 3 million. He layered on the charm first. Haha, I just came to say hello. You left quite an impression on me yesterday. The way you stood your ground, refusing to cave to outside pressure even a little, a truly magnificent showing, worthy of the McCain heir. Inwardly he smirked. How's my flattery taste? Adult like you must be tasting it for the very first time. Go on, he thought. Open up your heart and your wallet. But Logan just stared. What nonsense is that? Dwayne pressed on. In these hard times, 3 million gold is like rain in a drought. Your quick wits, he said, let the whole family breathe a sigh of relief. Logan cut in. Why would the family breathe easy? It's my money, Logan said flatly. Dwayne's stomach dropped. Is this rascal really planning to use all of it himself? Be patient, he told himself. Remember your past life, Dwayne. 20 years as McCain's financial manager. 20 years of pleading. Viscount Kairos, please help us. Just one more time. Only for the creditor to shove him off, screaming at him to let go. Groveling was normal for him. He reminded himself. This was no different. But then, why was he tearing up? Logan watched him. Is the family situation really that bad? Dwayne laid it bare. We owe Cooper's bank 3 million gold, and the annual interest alone is 150,000 gold. Logan nodded, unsurprised. You knew about it? Dwayne asked, stunned. But it's harvest season now, Logan noted. You should be able to cover the interest already. Why does he know so much? Dwayne thought. Dwayne scrambled. Haha, running a barony just costs money, kid. We're always on a tight budget. So if you could help us out a bit. Logan answered without hesitation. I'm sorry, but no. But why? Dwayne sputtered. I thought you opposed the Baron for the barony's sake. Yeah, Logan said, you're right. Dwayne froze mid-thought. Wait, what? I'm right. I'm going to use this money for the family, Logan told him. But not on the day-to-day running costs, no matter what. I need to look further ahead than that. As if you understand anything, Dwayne snapped inwardly. Just hand it over. Logan made him think it through. Say I use it to pay off the family's debts. How much would that actually change our situation? Well, Dwayne admitted, we'd have a bigger budget and some breathing room for a few more years. And after that, Logan asked, we'd be right back in debt, wouldn't we? We don't even have any specialty products. It's a vicious cycle. That, Logan said, is exactly the vicious cycle I'm trying to break. So I'm going to put this money toward my own plan. Dwayne could only stare. Is he really the same hooligan I knew? He'd been certain this was a kid who didn't care one bit about family affairs. Then Logan made his move. I have a favor to ask you, along those very lines. Do this for me, he offered, and I might even help cover some of the family's expenses. No, Dwayne blurted on reflex. Then, curiosity winning out. What is it? Logan's request was simple. I need you to gather some mercenaries. Later, Rick fretted at the door. Young master, are you really leaving? Yeah, Logan said. But where on earth are you going? You just got back from solitary training. To earn money, Logan replied. But don't you already have plenty? Rick asked. I need far more than this, Logan said. Rick worried. The Lord will never allow it right now. Not with the castle this tense. Logan smiled. Of course. That's exactly why I'm going to sneak out. What? Rick nearly fell over. Quiet, Logan told him. If I can't overturn my reputation here and now, I can't change a single thing inside these walls. That's why I have to build up my own forces on the outside. Luckily, he knew exactly what was happening out there right now, because this was the very time the family had cast him out and he'd wandered the kingdom. First, he thought, I need to scout that man. Meanwhile, Rick panicked. What are you thinking? Running away at your age? You're so damn persistent, Logan sighed. What am I supposed to do if you just run off? Rick cried. If you're going, you might as well step over me on your way out. Then Logan grabbed him. Wait. Rick yelped. Don't worry, Logan said. I'll leave a letter for father. No one will blame you. What will you write? Rick asked nervously. The letter began. Dear father, heartbroken over the broken engagement, I've decided to get some air and we'll be back soon. From Logan. His father read it and roared, Logan, come back here, you madman. But Logan was already gone. Off to begin building the future he'd come back in time to forge. Even just 200 years ago, the McCain family wasn't the shadow of a house it is now. Back then, the McCain name was revered as the ruler and lord of the entire southwestern region, its counties stretching vast and wide. But 3 useless generations of ancestors dragged their title down, demotion after demotion, until the current lord, Patrick McCain. The famous grain stores of the McCain Plains were handed to a powerful vassal, and every piece of good land carved up among the rest. What the family was chased into was the rough, dry land near the southern mountains. No copper mines, no regional products, nothing to sell, just barren ground. In this state, Logan realizes even winning the coming regional war would leave them begging for help forever. To break the cycle, they need money, far more than the $3 million he already has planned. And Logan knows exactly one man who can give it to him. So he sets out for Kale, the greatest trading city in the whole Grandia kingdom. Walking its roaring markets, Logan feels just how remote and forgotten his McCain lands really are. From his memory of the future, he knows the man he's hunting still lives nearby. His nickname is the Gold Bug, Philip Claude. To understand him, you have to understand the Ares Empire, the strongest, most merit-driven nation on the continent. There, talent buys power even for foreigners, and the perfect example is Grandia's own Philip Claude. In the future, Philip becomes the continent's greatest war merchant, branded a traitor to Grandia even as he moves the empire's wealth. Yet in truth, even as the Gold Bug, he quietly funds his homeland and creates the miracle of the Grandia sovereign dominion. But the legend Logan finds is a wreck of a man, wailing in the dirt. Dirty bastards, scamming me like this. How am I supposed to live now? Logan had heard Philip's business collapsed after a con, but seeing it in person is worse than he imagined. The broken merchant slumps and mutters to himself. Should I just die? Logan clears his throat and steps forward. Excuse me, are you Philip Claude? Yes, the man answers warily, taking in the stranger's red hair, red eyes, and unervingly strong gaze. I'd like to talk for a moment, Logan says. Do you have some time? Studying his eyes, Philip catches an emotion he's seen 1,000 times as a businessman. Greed. He sizes up the old armor and jumps to a conclusion. This has to be a debt collector from the Mercury gang. It's not the repayment date yet. Philip stammers in a panic. My sale money arrives in 3 days. Come back then. I'm not here to collect a debt. Logan tries, but the merchant just screams at him to go away. Philip, calm down, Logan cuts in. I'm not here to take money from you. I'm here to invest money. Invest, Philip repeats, stunned. In me, you mean? Yes, Logan answers flatly. He's just a crazy bastard. The merchant decides, insane to invest in a man who's completely failed. But what if he actually means it? Philip wonders, and asks how much he's planning to put in. I'll back you enough to clear your debts and make a full comeback, Logan says. Oh, really? Philip gasps. All right. How much do you need? Logan presses. I'll match it. Ha! You nasty young bastard, Philip mutters, suddenly suspicious. You're just like the others who scammed me. If you wanted to con me, you should have prepared better. You're no investor. That crest belongs to the beggar McCain barony, he sneers. They can't repay their own debts, and impersonating a noble gets you executed. You picked the wrong mark, Philip growls. I'm dead broke, so get lost. Sir Philip, look here, Logan says. What now? Brat, still trying to scam me, the merchant snaps. Then Logan shows him something, and Philip's words die in his throat. Force? Really? To have awakened force this young, a genius like that, Philip thinks. No idiot would throw away a future that bright on a con. His whole tone flips. Gosh, I apologize, he laughs. Now, what was your business again? Clearing your debt is just a freebie, Logan tells him. I want to hire you. Forever. How much debt are you carrying? Logan asks. Around 250,000, Philip admits. I'll repay all of it and value you far above that. A total of 550,000 gold, Logan lays out. All of it in cash. Okay, with this the contract is complete, Philip says. From now on, if a subordinate tries to harm the boss, they'll feel agony like their soul is being torn apart, unless they awaken force as a high-rank knight, or pay a fourth circle mage hundreds of times the price to lift the curse. Did I just get played? Logan realizes, staring at the contract. He wrote an expensive magic seal just to make me his slave. We can't really trust each other on a first meeting, Philip reasons. If I'm investing a fortune, I need a guarantee. Once we build real trust, I can get rid of the contract, he adds. So let's do good work together. It's a total mess of a deal, Logan thinks, but he has no choice now but to trust a man from here on out. So what must I do? Philip asks. First, Logan tells him buy up some monster meat. Monster meat? You're a real psycho. The merchant blurts, since monster blood carries poison and burning it is common sense. But in a few years, everything changes. Logan says, once people learn you can neutralize monster blood with common ingredients. Starving regions start eating monsters, and after consuming one in particular, the Kalok, strange effects begin to appear. Even those left sterile from injuries see results, Logan says, and a year after the Royal Magic Tower verifies it. The Kalok becomes impossible to find anywhere on the continent, an entire species hunted to extinction as a miracle tonic. With this alone, Logan calculates, I can make 3 million. No, way more than that. Should I run away? The bewildered merchant wonders, as his terrifying new boss lays out a future he can't possibly see yet. 1 million. That's the number Logan throws down, and it stops the room cold. Who spent 1 million gold on monster meat? Have you lost your mind? But Logan stays calm, insisting the profit on this investment will be enormous. I'm against this, Logan. Are you sure? Logan doesn't blink. Yes. To prove his point, Logan turns it into a test. What do you think the unit price of a Karok monster should be? The answer comes back grim. Karok meat has no value these days, and with no one living out there, the carcasses just get burned. Factoring in the kingdom's transport fees, 200 gold would cover a single Karok, and hunting several at once would make it far cheaper still. Logan is impressed the man even accounted for transportation. Then he checks himself. Are my calculations wrong? Not wrong, comes the reply, but that budget seems absurd. Were you planning to buy after the kingdom's hunting demand flooded the Mercenaries Guild? You took the wrong turn entirely, the man tells him, baffled by the plan. Monster meat is being thrown out everywhere now. Just go to the Merchants Guild and ask for the price of beef instead. Merchants out there will buy and sell anything for money, he adds. Even garbage, they'll try to offload on each other. They'd likely hand you every scrap of Karok meat in the kingdom, since it's worthless to them now anyway. Logan grins. What a brilliant guy. The man absolutely deserves every coin spent on him. From now on, don't worry about money, the man says. Leave it to me, since my future is in your hands, Logan. Then Logan adds one more order. Stay in Kale and buy in bulk. Cartridges, springs, ferric wood glue from the south. Are you making toys? No, something much better, Logan says, keeping the truth to himself. He can't tell the man these are for weapons, because the weapons built from these materials are the same ones the Empire used to conquer Grandia's kingdom in his past life. Handled right, a single soldier could stop a knight. He'd already entrusted Dwayne with hiring mercenaries. Only by arming them with these weapons will his side hold the upper hand in the coming regional war. But first he needs an engineer to build the weapon and instructors to train the men. There's so much to take care of. 2 days later, in Haran, the mercenary city. You want to hire me as a trainer? The question comes from a hardened veteran. This is Kaiselin, a rank A mercenary. Sorry, but I've never seriously trained anyone, Kaiselin says. Logan brushes it off. It won't be hard. Just drill the rank C mercenaries I'm going to hire. I don't know where you heard that, Kaiselin protests. All I ever did was teach some youngsters a few tricks. But Logan knows better. The army Kaiselin raised after retiring from his injuries fell apart, and only because they grew arrogant and bragged about their skill. It seems Kaiselin has no intention of joining anyone anymore. Clearly, Logan realizes he'll have to spend some money. I'll pay you 4,000 gold a month, Logan offers. The minimum for a rank A mercenary is 2,000 gold monthly. Logan just doubled it. No, Kaiselin steals himself. I was never a trainer. Logan doesn't flinch. Not enough. What about 6,000? Even so, Kaiselin insists I prefer fighting work. Logan UPS it again. 7,000. Didn't you hear me? Kaiselin snaps. Do you think money is everything? What about 8,000? Kaiselin breaks instantly. Who's the bastard who said money isn't everything? I hope we do great things together, Logan says, sealing the deal. Kaiselin has been recruited. His new master, Kaiselin is told, will be Bear McCain. Aren't you curious why I'm sending mercenaries to McLean, a deserted place? Logan asks. Kaiselin shrugs. As long as you're paying, I won't ask. Logan smiles. This is exactly the mindset he wanted. Move quickly, bastards, a drill master barks across the yard. I'll beat you all if you're late. As everyone knows, Logan notes, Haran is famous for one thing. the city of mercenary slaves. Keep moving this way, his guide says, and further ahead lies the slave market. Yes, Logan answers quietly. He knows, because later he intends to buy a slave from this very place. A slaver eyes him. He looks like a clueless country boy. Young man, come take a look. The slaves here are ridiculously cheap, the man promises. But the pitch dies fast. Damn it. Why is Kaiselin here? The slaver panics, recognizing the rank, a mercenary at Logan's side. Logan smirks. Hiring was a good move after all. They reach a marketplace guarded by more escorts than any other. I think we've arrived, Logan says. Young man, what brings you here? A dealer asks. Logan gets straight to it. I came to buy a dwarf. You guessed right, coming to me, the dealer says. This way. Slaves of that race are rare and specially handled. It was extremely hard to find these ones, the dealer boasts. Have you ever even seen one? Speaking of which, Logan cuts in, his eyes landing on someone. I found him. Take that one out of there, Logan orders, pointing into the cage. The dealer hesitates. But you said you were looking for a dwarf, right? He'll be useful in many ways, the dealer recovers, and honestly, he looks exactly like one. He's one of the few true artisans of the dwarf race. The artisan dwarves, Logan reflects, a race that has crafted artifacts since childhood and made their living by it. And this particular one, the dealer adds, is the very best. How much is he? Logan presses. Ha ha, a special discount, the dealer laughs. 200,000 gold will be enough. What do you say? Do I look that stupid to you? Logan fires back. By the time the haggling ends, the dealer is stammering. 50,000 gold will be enough. He just knocked 150,000 off the price in a few minutes. The onlookers are stunned. You humans are really awful, the dwarf mutters. Logan shushes him with a grin. This is the basics of business. Where are you taking me? The dwarf finally asks. To McCain Barony in the southwest, Logan says, and you'll do exactly what I order. Even born of the artisan race, Logan knows slave dwarves never grew up in conditions where they could truly learn their craft. So to motivate this one, Logan offers something no slaver ever would. 20 years. Do your best for the next 20 years, Logan tells him, and I'll send you back to the mountains where your people are meant to live. 20 years is nothing for your race, Logan adds. Am I wrong? Ha ha. Then don't go back on your word. The dwarf laughs, the deal struck between them. Suddenly a shout tears through the market. This slave escaped. Okay, Logan says, ready to move as the chaos breaks around them. To be continued. Catch him. Voices bark through a marching column. Somewhere in the dust, a chase has already begun. This slave is trying to run away. A soldier shouts, and the whole line turns to hunt a small barefoot boy sprinting for his life. There he is. They corner him at last, breathless and trapped. How dare you attempt an escape? You humble slave. A slaver roars, dragging the child back by force. Brother, run away. A tiny voice pleads, a little girl reaching for him from the crowd. They're merely slaves, an officer says coldly. Let us continue our march. I understand, but a subordinate hesitates. A slave with azure hair and peculiar red and blue eyes, the man murmurs. That seems somewhat familiar. Then it clicks, and the blood drains from his face. Victor, he breathes. No way, he thinks. I never expected to meet the noble's lair here. In my previous life, there was a force user by that name, terribly renowned. From what he'd heard, the man began as a slave in his youth, murdered his master, and ran. Countless soldiers and knights who pursued him were slaughtered along the way. About 10 years later, he reappeared wielding force, no longer just an ordinary human, and people learned to fear him. He earned an infamous title, the Noble's Lair, and began killing the nobles of Grandia without mercy. If I'm remembering right, the man reasons that escape is still a year away. Right now, he's just a youth. If this youth is saved now, he realizes he'll one day be a future force user standing at my side. Someone get rid of this bastard kid, a slaver bellows. Even now, the boy is fighting back. Still resisting, another spits. If the noble's lair is a weapon that can harm allies, the man thinks isolating him now wouldn't be a bad idea. "You tiny bastard," a slaver growls, raising a hand to strike the boy down. Then, in an instant, the slaver is thrown back. "Who's the bastard who did that?" someone yells. "Who is this guy?" they whisper. "Where did he come from?" A stranger now stands over the children. The slavers scramble to grovel. "I apologize," one laughs nervously. "We were only disciplining our slaves." "What do you desire, sir?" "I want to buy these two slaves," the stranger says flatly, nodding at the boy and his little sister. "These children?" "Both have rare red and blue eyes, so the price is quite high," the slaver warns. "How much?" the stranger asks. "At least 10,000 each," the slaver sneers. "Even the strongest young slave costs 300 gold. So how could these bony children fetch tens of times more?" The buyer only smiles inside. For the noble's lair, even 100,000 would be cheap, but there's no way this fool knows that. More importantly, he decides, "I won't let this bastard win easy money." One of them looks about to die soon. He adds coldly, and the slaver freezes, caught off guard. "Ah, brother," the little girl coughs weakly, half collapsed at the boy's feet. "Any price above a strong slave will do," the slaver hedges. 500 gold for each, the buyer offers. "Do you think I don't know the slaves' true prices?" the buyer says, his patience gone. "I'll take them," he declares, and the slaver flinches in shock. "It seems things will keep going this way in the future," the buyer sighs to himself. "Victor has caused endless trouble already. Thank you for purchasing from us, dear client," the slaver forces out through gritted teeth as the deal is done. Later, the boy stirs. "You finally woke up," the man says. "I never expected it so soon, since that wound wasn't the kind that heals fast. It's natural," he thinks. "I've been secretly channeling my force into the boy the whole way here." Then the little sister turns and stares straight at him. "How can a girl this young sense my power?" he wonders. Even Kaiselin never noticed it. Suddenly the boy lunges. "Die," he screams, throwing everything he has into the strike. But it lands on nothing. "Ack," the boy cries as he's effortlessly subdued. "Are you so brave?" the man asks, "or just a fool?" "Quickly, run away," the boy begs his sister. "Child," the man says calmly, "haven't you realized the situation you're in?" "Do I look like that slave trader from before?" he asks, letting the threat hang in the air. "I hope this is the final warning. Victor," he says, "follow my orders, and I'll ensure the safety of both you and your sister. But if this happens again," he warns, his voice dropping cold, "I won't just get rid of you, but your younger sister too." Then his tone softens. "I plan to raise you to become a knight," he tells Victor. "Me?" the boy stammers in disbelief. "Yes," the man says. "A knight is a noble-like person, and surely, then you'll be able to escape slavery for good. Not only you," he adds, "but even your younger sister." "I will do it," the boy answers, the fight in his eyes turning to resolve. Privately, the man notes the truth. The younger sister is the key to controlling the noble slayer's violent nature. "Good," he says. "I'll begin your training when we return to my family." He turns to another figure and produces a document. "I prepare the contract," he says. "It states that if you work with me for 20 years, you'll earn your freedom and return to the mountains." "Will you really send me back to where my race resides?" the creature asks warily. It's hard to trust mere words. "What, don't you want that?" the man asks. "No, I'll definitely sign this contract," the creature bursts out. "So you truly meant it, human," it says softly. "I'm truly grateful to you." He felt motivated because of this contract, the man observes. "My expectations were not wrong." And thus, he reflects, "I've gained everything I came for, and more, with the noble's lair now at my side." Preparation for the regional war are going well, comes a report. Meanwhile, Logan has no idea any of this is happening. Back home, rumors of Logan's strange behavior have already spread throughout McCain. His reputation has plummeted, dragged underground. And all the while, Rick, Logan's servant, suffers every hardship to keep those rumors from spreading beyond McCain territory. "Where the hell are you, damned bastard?" someone roars, the trouble already closing in on Logan's second life. "Young master, you've returned," a servant beams as Logan walks back through the McCain estate gates. Rick greets him warmly. admitting it's refreshing just to see Logan smile at all. But not everyone is smiling. What are you doing out there? Someone snaps. Do you know what the villagers are saying about you? They're calling you a monster meat enthusiast who blew 150,000 gold on monster meat. The story rewinds. A few days ago, the scheme that started all the gossip was set into motion. What? Purchasing monster's meat? A merchant box. Who's crazy enough for that? It's Prince Logan McCain. Comes the answer, son of Baron Patrick McCain. Oh, Logan, the one who broke off his arranged marriage and squeezed money out of his fiancée's family. I thought he was just crazy, one merchant sneers, but turns out he's an irrational loser. Yet the merchant Philip saw what the others missed. Don't miss this opportunity, he declares, 1 gold per kilo. What merchant would refuse to sell trash at that price? He laughs. Do you want money or not? Thanks to Rick's aggressive deal-making, merchants scrambled to collect monster meat, and word of Logan spread to every estate near Kale. Look at your companions' faces. Rick presses in the present. Imagine how much the villagers overheard while you were out there. Don't worry, Logan says calmly. It'll all be resolved soon. This is no time to stay calm. Rick shoots back. So his father asks coldly, did you enjoy your little escape? It wasn't an escape. Logan answers evenly, just a little tour. Rumors are just rumors, Logan replies. I have no shame in my actions. Look, family head, a stern voice cuts in. His actions could tarnish the family's honor. Oh, mother, your words are too severe, Logan says. I only spent the money I earned by breaking off my engagement exactly as I wished. You heard him. She rounds on the Baron. Are you still going to take his side after that? I told you to be quiet, the Baron snaps. I'd like a private word with Logan. Please leave. I alone will deal with Logan, the Baron declares. This will be his final warning. Once alone, his father rounds on him. What the hell are you doing, Logan? Have you lost your mind? Don't you want to be understood? His father asks. Do you have any idea how people talk about you? Violent, cruel, obsessed with money, he lists, and lately, they say he's completely lost his mind. How long do I have to keep covering for you? His father asks wearily. If you want me to stop, just say so. That way, he says quietly, you could at least tell your late mother you did your best. He's mentioning my mother, Logan thinks, shaken. In my past life, father never once brought her up, even when he cast me out. So he hasn't completely given up on me yet, Logan realizes. Please, Logan says, just give me 1 year to prove the reasons behind everything I've done. Please, Logan repeats, give me this one chance, father. Please, the Baron marvels inwardly. It feels so unfamiliar for the two of us to speak this way. If Logan can't prove his words after a year, his father decides, then a decision will have to be made. Reina, I'm sorry, he murmurs to his lost wife. I promised to raise our son well, but I've been careless. Elsewhere, Logan's attention snaps to his younger brother. Ronan, have you already awakened your force? Yeah, Ronan beams. I knew you'd recognize it right away, big brother. Only 14, Logan thinks in awe. In my past life, he didn't awaken his force until the regional war, far later than this. It's all thanks to you, brother, Ronan says. The knights kept blocking me from seeing you. So I broke through to reach you again. He slipped past 2 knights, right after awakening his force, just to see me. Logan marvels, stunned. Ha, well done, Roni. Logan laughs. Once his force stabilizes, he thinks if I teach him the divine sword's vision, he could grow far stronger than he ever did in my past life. Logan realizes his mind racing. The scene shifts to a vacation villa in the south of the McCain barony. As you requested, Master, Dwayne reports, I've recruited all 350 C-rank mercenaries. No way a mere Baron challenges the Mercury Guild unless he's insane, the mercenaries mutter. Maybe he really is crazy. He's wearing armor and carrying a sword. One scoffs. Is he trying to play soldier? Do you find it funny that I'm wearing armor? Logan asks. WH what? How did you even hear that from over there? I'm curious. Logan continues. What skill does a mere C-rank Mercury have to talk about others that way? Land even a single hit on me, Logan offers, and I'll pay you a year's wages and send you off. A solemn promise on the honor of a noble. And everyone here is a witness, Logan adds, raising his voice for the whole crowd. Great, the mercenary grins. I'll even give you the first move, Logan says, spreading his arms. You'll regret it, the man sneers. Don't worry, Logan replies. The sword you'll taste will be more filling than any meal you've ever had. By the way, Logan asks casually, would you like a handicap? The mercenary charges, weapon raised, closing the distance in an instant. I'm not sure this even counts, Logan says, the fight ending before it ever began. Then, turning to the stunned crowd, Logan calls out, anyone else want to come forward? Logan's plan to rebuild his fallen family starts not with him, but with the men he's hired to fight for it. He's gathered a hall full of mercenaries, hard men who don't yet know who they're dealing with. When one of them runs his mouth, Logan puts him down cold. Anyone else want to talk? He asks. The room goes quiet. A Force user at that age. One of them mutters, stunned that a boy this young hits this hard. This is ridiculous. Another curses, realizing the red-haired kid in front of them is no ordinary noble. I knew he was out of the ordinary, one thinks, but I didn't realize he was this good. With the loudmouths silenced, Logan figures there won't be any more complaints. Then he introduces himself properly. I am Logan McCain. He says, the man who called you all here. Many of you are wondering why I'm throwing money around hiring mercenaries, he tells them. His answer surprises them. I'm going to train you to be crossbow cavalrymen. Crossbows, the men scoff. Do people even use those on horseback? We'd spend all our time reloading. Mr. Logan, one veteran objects, crossbows aren't efficient weapons for cavalry. I know, Logan answers. You know? Then why? The man stammers, completely thrown. Logan lays it out. Crossbows are far more destructive than bows, but inexperienced shooters take over a minute just to load one. On a horse, he admits, you'd run dry in a minute, even carrying 3 or 4 loaded. No wonder they're baffled. Even if you think I'm just cosplaying as a soldier and burning money, he says, I'm certain about this. You'll find out the reason later, Logan promises. For now, train them thoroughly. These crossbow cavalrymen, he knows, will be a great force for McCain, far beyond the war that's coming. His officer swallows his doubts. Okay, sir. A few days later, the work is already paying off. Of the 350 mercenaries recruited, 312 passed the qualification test. Good enough, Logan decides. Then he turns to the harder problem. A master, someone stammers, staring at what he's drawn. What is this? The man asks, holding a strange schematic. Finished already, Logan says. That's the crossbow you're going to build. The craftsman is speechless. It's probably crude to a professional's eye, Logan admits. Still, it's a weapon I used for decades in my previous life, he thinks, so I've drawn every structure I can remember. The dwarf studies it. So you want a cartridge that holds bolts in the back. Auto-loading, firing 3 shots in a row? Who the hell came up with this? The craftsman demands. Me, Logan answers flatly. On second thought, the dwarf mutters, it's a genuinely novel idea. But there are problems. Twisted strings like this will break, and a wooden box behind it makes it awkward for the shooter. What's your fix? How would I know? Logan shrugs. That part's on you. Then he grins. I'm just messing with you. Don't get angry. Listen, shrink the bolt to shrink the cartridge, he explains. Instead of one and done, make the cartridges prefabricated and reload every shot. Let's call them magazines, for convenience, Logan says. No way, the dwarf breathes. Even a skilled shooter can't fire 2 shots a minute. This would be a weapon beyond our time, he gasps. That's right, Logan says, because it was created in the future. To think all it takes is a cartridge, a spring, some wood, glue, and a bowstring, the craftsman marvels. This is a motivating challenge, the dwarf decides. Great, I'll give a shot. When do you think you can do it? Logan asks. You're asking me to build something I've never seen, with a deadline, the dwarf grumbles. It's still a weapon humans made, Logan presses. The craftsman panics, demanding to know who else has built such a thing. You don't need to know that, Logan says. If you can't do it, give up. Fine, the dwarf relents, I'll do it. In 1 month, the craftsman vows, I'll build something far superior in that time. Watch what happens, he snaps, when you mess with a dwarf's ego. Elsewhere, another of Logan's projects is running hard. A young trainee gasps for breath. You're slowing down again, his instructor barks. You could do better, run. The instructor watches, stunned by how far the boy has already come. I've only fed him and let him sleep since he arrived, the man thinks. But I can't believe what a difference that little food made. Rest, the instructor finally calls, and the boy collapses gratefully. A small voice cries out to him, a sister watching her brother push himself to the limit. A 14-year-old, smaller than his peers, just ran 20 kilometers without a single rest. He's talented after all, but what I love most, the instructor thinks, is his grit and perseverance. All my worries were for nothing. He wasn't a noble slayer by nature, Logan reflects. The monster his last life became was made by something else. Enough, get up, the instructor orders. It's time for the next session. From now on, we learn the Grandia Kingdom's sword technique. He says, the same one every knight trainee is taught. Watch and learn, the instructor tells him, and begins the form. The boy watches once, drinking in every motion. I want to pass out and sleep right now, the trainee thinks, exhausted to the bone. But if the price of this exhaustion is good food and a good night's sleep, he decides it's worth it. Then he steps up and performs the technique himself. It's the same, the instructor gapes. Not just the movements, every single breath. I showed him once, and he followed it perfectly. I don't think even Ronan was this good. He thinks, and they're the same age. Master the kingdom's sword technique 1,000 times in a row, Logan tells the boy, once your stamina holds. By then, he says, you could probably call yourself a knight. A knight, the boy repeats, the word landing somewhere deep. You can do it, right? Logan asks. Yes, sir, the trainee answers without hesitation. Good, Logan says. If you need anything for your training, tell Rick. He can handle most things. Are you sure there's nothing? Logan asks. Just the boy hesitates. Please just look after my sister the way you do now, he says. That's enough for me. Logan sees a loyalty here he intends to earn. Excellent, Logan thinks, watching another piece of his future fall into place. Victor may not be ready for war yet, he reasons, but he'll be a great help to McCain in the future. Now on to the next. Between the mercenary corps and the weapon the craftsman is forging, McCain will have a formidable force. But I shouldn't be too hopeful, Logan warns himself. The smith might fail, or the mercenaries might not wield it well. Since I put so much in other people's hands, he thinks, I need another plan of my own. So you're saying, a knight commander repeats, hardly believing what he's hearing. You want to join the knights training yourself? The man asks. What follows leaves him speechless. This is the first time I've ever seen anything like it, the commander breathes. Logan McCain doesn't just build a force around himself. He becomes the sharpest weapon in it. Logan stands before the McCain Knights, and Heinkel, captain of the order, calls the gathering to attention. Here, the captain announces to his assembled men. As of today, he declares, the first young Master Logan will be joining the training of the Knights Order. The Knights can't believe their ears. Did I hear that right? The young Master is going to train with us? Does he take Knights for a joke now? One mutters, just because he won that brawl downtown? Earlier, Heinkel had questioned the order himself. You really want the young Master training alongside the Knights? If you do that, Heinkel warned, the Knights won't be happy. Logan answered flatly, I'm not asking for special treatment. Grill me through and through, Logan told him, just like you would any rookie knight. Heinkel hesitated. Even so, he's still my lord's son. It would have been easier if he'd asked me to go easy on him. Don't worry, Logan said, meeting his eyes. If I fall behind on even a single drill over the course of 1 week, I'll pretend this never happened and get out of your way for good. Heinkel considered the deal, then gave a single word. Okay, and with that, he made his decision. For this week, the Knights Order training will run at triple the difficulty. The training begins, and it is brutal. I'm not sure this is even survivable, Logan thinks. The Knights strain and groan under the impossible load. What the hell kind of training is this? One of them gasps. You are cavalry knights, Heinkel roars. Don't you die on me. How can you not know how it feels to be a horse? Feel what the horse feels, he bellows, carrying you across the battlefield while you sit there in full armor. What bullshit is this? The knights groan under the weight of their plate. So that's why he made us train in full armor, one realizes. We're going through this hell because of that damn troublemaker. He'll only last so long before he runs, they whisper. 3 days, maybe. No, one bets he won't even last a day. But Logan grits his teeth and keeps moving, refusing to fall behind. Step after grinding step, he pushes forward through the punishing drill. The knights look up and can't believe what they're seeing. No way, one gasps. That troublemaker's in the lead? And on top of that, another stammers he's smiling. At this rate, they realize it'll be the knights who fall behind, not him. TCH1 grinds out. Watching from the front, Heinkel finally calls it. All of you halt. We'll rest for 10 minutes, he says, as the exhausted knights collapse where they stand. Logan lowers himself to the ground, catching his breath. Heinkel approaches him. Young master, he asks, how are you holding up? Tiring, right? Just give me an honest answer, the captain coaxes. Of course it's tiring, Logan admits. Ditch this crazy training and go home, Heinkel is about to offer. But instead Logan says, it's doable. What? It's great training, Logan says. The knights go through this every day, so of course they're strong. I'm looking forward to the next session, Captain, Logan smiles. Heinkel can only stare, stunned. This, Heinkel thinks, is not at all what I was going for. He'd meant to break the young master's spirit, and somehow won his enthusiasm instead. Later, Logan checks that the training grounds are empty. Did all the knights head back? Training with the knights, he reflects, is his insurance policy. If every other plan fails, he'll join them and fight on the front lines, so he might as well bond with them now. And there's another reason, he thinks. My own strength. I can build my force through meditation, he reasons, but what matters just as much is training the body itself. That's exactly where the knight's order training comes in handy. He closes his eyes, focuses, and feels it. Just as I thought, it works. As my force core keeps growing, he marvels I don't even feel the fatigue anymore. A surge of power runs through him, and even Logan is startled by it. All this power, he thinks, from a force core that's still only 1 star? Maybe once I reach 2 star, he imagines, I'll rival a high-ranking knight, someone like my father. The scope of his own growing potential leaves him breathless. The scene shifts to a workshop where a weapon is being tested. Fail, someone barks. This one's out too. The voice continues, rejecting another attempt. Is that really all you can do? Ow. Logan is inspecting a dwarven craftsman's work, and he is not impressed. This thing only fires a single round. Logan complains. And where's the thread I ordered? And the magazine? He presses. Did I say it needed to be integrated? The dwarf bristles. But this is, he protests, offended at the criticism. Then Logan pretends to catch himself. Ah, damn it, I'm sorry. I forgot. I shouldn't have said that. That's right. The dwarf huffs, latching on. Even if you're my master, a craftsman has his pride. If this really is your best, Logan sighs, then I suppose there's nothing to be done about it. Weeks of work, and only this to show, Logan laments. I expected too much. I'm the one at fault. I misjudged you. I was wrong, Logan needles. And I spent all that money just to see this. The dwarf's pride finally snaps. 1 month, he blurts. Logan raises an eyebrow. I'll make another within 1 month, the craftsman vows, and I'll come back again. And just like that, Logan gets exactly what he wanted, the dwarf storming off to prove himself. Whoa, an onlooker gapes. He got so angry he's starting from scratch. Logan just smiles. No is his answer to giving up. If I grill him a little more, Logan thinks slyly, he'll come back with something amazing, as expected of a dwarf. 1 month later, the dwarf returns to the workshop, a new creation in hand. He begins, presenting his work to Logan. Logan takes it, unsure at first what he's looking at. What do you think? The dwarf says, clearing his throat. It has 1 less shot than you originally asked, but it's easier to hold in 1 hand, and you can swap magazines. Logan tests it and is floored. Holy shit, it took me less than 5 seconds to load and fire. It has less range than the weapon from my past life, and it's smaller, Logan notes. But for a mounted soldier, this is far better. Just swap the preloaded cartridge, and it's ready to go. No, in fact, Logan realizes it's outright outperforming the original. I can't believe we've come this far, he thinks, and we're still months away from the war between the fiefs. Master, are you even listening to me? The dwarf snaps. Geez. Logan looks up, then grins. Good job. You did great. Hammer. Logan praises the craftsman warmly. Long live Hammer. The dwarf cheers. Long live the dwarves. Be bloody hell. Logan laughs. Someone could see us. I'm not a kid. Then Logan's expression turns serious, and the dwarf senses it coming. What is it? The dwarf asks nervously. You can make 400 of these in 2 months, right? Logan asks. And so Logan lays the groundwork for his war, arming his family's future one weapon at a time. Logan watches the test with quiet focus, weighing whether he's ever seen a weapon quite like this before. On the range, a new crossbow is loaded and readied for its first real demonstration. The bolt flies far and fast. Whoa! The men gasp, and it fires consecutive shots too. An astonishing crossbow. How could this be? One soldier marvels. A muzzle-loading crossbow with this range, power, and speed shouldn't even be possible. Imagine an army of 300 mounted troops armed with these, one thinks. Just the thought makes him shudder. So this is what you meant by crossbow cavalry, they tell Logan. You're truly amazing. Well, yeah, kind of, Logan admits. Hamar the dwarf went through quite a hard time to make them. He'd only brought an extra craftsman to help. Yet Hamar finished the order 2 weeks early and threw in 100 spare crossbows. I'll make good use of these, Logan says. As expected of an expert-ranked dwarf, his work is clearly a cut above. He'd love to arm the whole knight's order and the soldiers, but there's the matter of funds and the risk of the technology leaking. So for now, he orders the mercenaries equipped with the crossbows and sent to clear the monsters beyond the territory. What, 1 box? Do you think that's impossible? Logan asks flatly. The mercenary hedges. It might be possible. Not it might be possible, Logan cuts in. Make it possible, he says. Because if you can't do that, all of this is meaningless. He wouldn't have forged a weapon like this just to hunt monsters, the man realizes as Logan tells them to each take crossbow. Is he preparing for war? The mercenary wonders, unease creeping in. Meanwhile, Logan drives his own body through relentless training. Whoa, the watching knights breathe. He's got tremendous stamina, one of them says. Is that ridiculous physical ability genetic? Another asks, watching him carry 2 men at once. If he's anything like the patriarch, he must be deadly with a sword. One scoffs, thinking back to downtown. He even lost to his younger brother before awakening. How can you compare him to the old man? Still, it's amazing how he's endured this brutal training consistently for over a month now. The regiment first designed to drive Logan away has become the new symbol of the entire Knight's Order. It's tiring, but far more rewarding than just running, they agree. It's finally training worthy of a Knight's Order. It even lit a fire under the low-ranked knights who'd been slacking off and made them truly empathize with their horses. Ray, you must have had a hard time carrying me, one says. Thank you. I'm heavy, aren't I? Another jokes, I overate yesterday. Whatever, man, comes the reply. Don't sweat that kind of thing among comrades, he adds. Stupid, one flusters. What am I supposed to do when you just say something like that? The bonds between the knights are quietly growing stronger. I only kept up the training because the young master wouldn't quit, an instructor admits, but I can't believe the results it's produced. My lucky charm walked in on his own 2 feet. Someone marvels. Am I just tired, or is this real? After punishing his body with training, Logan turns inward, stimulating his inner consciousness through meditation. The 2 disciplines synergize, and he feels himself making solid, steady progress. Lately, he's been sensing a shift in the force within him. If he can grow his martial power the way he expects, superhuman or a master, archmage, the ranks run through his mind. Then he could surpass every monster he saw in his previous life. He exhales, steadying himself after another session. Then, deep inside him, something clicks into place. It's complete. A 2-star core, he realizes a real foundation of power taking shape. Now he finally has the base to learn the next secret technique of the sword arts. Iron slash, killer iron slash, he murmurs, running the names of the techniques through his head. Judging by the power the first technique gave him, the second will surely be far stronger than expected. If he can just master it before the war, then not even a high-ranking knight would frighten him. Out in the field, the mercenaries put the crossbows to the test. Lift, the order rings out. Shoot! comes the command, and a volley of bolts tears through the air. The monsters shriek and go down under the barrage. Whoa! The men gasp at the sheer force of the weapons in their hands. There's hardly any recoil, one shouts. Mine punched through one guy's head and buried into the skull of another behind him. A swarm of over 100 monsters is wiped out in under 10 seconds. Their old crossbow habits are breaking, and they're swapping magazines faster than ever. It was worth marching this far into the territory for the hunt. One says, pleased. Are you satisfied? They ask Logan. Somewhat, he answers. They were a mess on the first hunt, but they've come a long way. Just out of curiosity, one of them ventures, why are you doing all this? I've never heard of a mercenary force with this much firepower, he says. Are you planning to slay monsters across the whole continent? Or, before Logan can answer, a cry breaks the moment. Young master, someone shouts, racing toward them. What's wrong? Logan demands. A person named Rick sent me here, the messenger pants. Rick, Logan repeats, the name pulling his focus sharp. Yesterday, the messenger gasps out, Viscount Testron declared war against us. The word Logan has been preparing for lands at last. War has come, and this time he's ready to change how it ends. A voice rings out with an old grudge. For the wrongful death of their ancestor, they lay the blame squarely on the house of McCain. Inside the McCain hall, the vassals are stunned. That's ancient history, they mutter. Does a grudge that old really justify a war? All eyes turn to the patriarch. My lord, they ask, what will you do? The numbers are grim. Viscount Testron's knights alone far outnumber their own soldiers. Even with the patriarch, they whisper the odds of winning are slim. Some argue for defense. Guard the city, they say, and call for reinforcements. But others warn that would break their fighting knights and plunge the whole city into chaos. No, another counters, we should send an envoy first and sue for peace. Silence. All of you, the patriarch roars, cutting through the panic. Even with the royal family weakened, he says, these people declared war without permission. It's crystal clear this was planned. So to those begging for peace, he demands, did you even think before you spoke? Prepare for war. He commands, and bring me a plan for victory. I will not tolerate any dissent, he declares. The decision is made. But one uneasy voice lingers. Will the young masters go to war as well? Do not doubt it, the patriarch answers. My sons will go to war too, he says. Ronan's force has awakened now, he explains. And Logan is of age, so he must do his part. The vassals note the eldest young master trains with the knights. 2 force users, they say, will be a great help. But there's a problem. This is bad, a servant realizes. The young master is away right now. I must let him know at once, he thinks, and races off with the news. Elsewhere, the messenger reaches Logan. And that, he finishes, is what happened. Logan's face darkens. Something is very wrong. In his past life, he recalls, this war wasn't supposed to start for another 2 months. What could have hastened it? Worse, the enemy is defying all custom, marching the instant they declared war. You must leave now, the servant urges, to even reach the middle of the fight. There's no time to think. Logan makes his move. His own mercenaries answer the call. The Logan Mercury Corps are ready anytime. They roar. His right hand, Kai, isn't the least bit shaken. If there's no war, he shrugs, we'd want to start one. What a terrible thing to say, someone mutters. We got our hands on a great weapon, Kai grins. Isn't it obvious we'd want to use it? These guys, Logan thinks, they're way too confident. But their confidence, he admits, is valid. After all, this corps overwhelmingly massacred the monster flock that swarmed larger than ever last winter. What does it matter when the war breaks out? One fighter laughs. All we got to do is win. We got enough combat power right now, they cheer. All 314 of them. Logan's Mercury Corps prepare to depart, he orders. While the house of McCain reels in fear of an unexpected war, Logan's men are certain of victory. But the war comes faster than the McCains ever imagined. The very day after the declaration, Testron's troops arrive at the McCain estate, their numbers far beyond what the vassals expected. The scouts count in horror. Over 100 knights, 1,000 regular troops, and nearly 10,000 conscripts. It's an all-out war, they cry. Has Lord Tezron gone insane? to throw ordinary conscripts against knights who are practically superhuman in a domestic freedom war that isn't even between nations is madness. Why the hell are you going this far? The McCains rage at their enemy. And there's more bad news. Also, a servant stammers. The House of Kairos has informed us they will not send troops. What? The vassals gasp. There's no way. They protest. There must be a mistake. But it's no error. I checked it myself. An official confirms, ashen-faced. With no allies left, the patriarch commits. Gather every man who can carry a weapon, he commands. We respond with full force. Their trusted allies had turned their backs. Cornered, McCain scrapes together every soldier he can to face Tehran. And so the McCain army assembled. 53 knights, 552 regular troops, and over 4,000 conscripts, for a total of 5,023. A force that wasn't even half the size of Tehran's army. And then a question cuts through the ranks. Where's the first young master? Didn't you hear, comes the reply. He went out long ago and hasn't come back. Now of all times, someone sighs. He probably won't return. He must have run away after hearing the news. What are you talking about? A familiar voice snaps. There's no way he would do that. Ronan insists, defending his brother. Big brother, he says quietly, holding on to his faith in Logan. He already expected this war would come, Ronan says. He even promised to teach me a secret technique soon. He told me we'd save our family together, Ronan declares. There's no way he'd run away. But the rumor is already spreading. The first young master ran away. So it was true, the soldiers whisper. The son of the field's lord fled? The patriarch turns to his younger son. Ronan, he says, you must play your brother's role in his place. Do not waver, no matter the cost, he commands. Ronan wrestles with his doubt. Why don't I want to believe it, he thinks. But that doesn't matter right now. We must win this war, he shouts, steeling himself. Everyone charge. Let's crush those scum. The McCain forces roar as the battle erupts. On the field, the enemy sneers. Finally, Patriarch McCain has drawn his sword at last. My knights are my swords, the enemy commander taunts. Face them now, Patrick McCain. The Patriarch tears into the vanguard with a fury they haven't seen in years, leaving the enemy stunned. First of all, he resolves, I must break through the vanguard. But the enemy has an answer waiting. His strike is stopped cold. He blocked my attack. The Patriarch realizes in shock as the chapter ends on the edge of the clash. The chapter opens mid-slaughter. A soldier stares in horror as the battle collapses around him. My arm, one man screams, cut down where he stands. No, another whimpers, watching death close in. Help, a soldier cries out. No, he chants as if the word alone could hold back the enemy blades. This is bad, someone gasps. We're losing. The McCain line is buckling on every side. We were so disadvantaged in this war, a servant thinks, that they even had to send out someone like me. An enemy soldier lunges with scream. Steel meets flesh, and a man is flung back with a broken cry. Get up right now, a voice barks over the chaos. Ready your spear. He's an ally. Thank God. A soldier breathes, hauled back from the brink. Thank you, he stammers. But the reprieve is brief. The enemy surges again, and screams swallow the field. I need to run away to the rear, one soldier thinks, panicking, as far from the enemy as possible. Then the worst news of all. They've surrounded us from the rear, too. A soldier shouts in despair. Are we all going to die here? He whispers. The McCain forces boxed in on every front. Amid the carnage, one figure still holds the line, a lone knight refusing to break. The enemy commander sneers at him. We made so many preparations, he says, yet look at the state of you. The knight braces, sensing exactly how much force is being thrown his way. He withstood my attacks, even at full force, the commander marvels. Only this one is held. I didn't expect a house like this to have a high-ranking knight as well. He admits, grudging respect in his voice. The other four ranged against the knight are at least intermediate-rank fighters themselves. But is that why they're so confident? The knight wonders, 5 blades circling him at once. So the people prepare to deal with me. He says, reading the trap for what it is. Well, the commander taunts, how do you like our preparations? The knight knows the stakes. If I get blocked here, so will the whole knight's order. And if that happens, he thinks the line breaks and the family falls with it. I won't let that happen. He roars and throws himself back into the fight. He carves into them, one enemy knight staggering back with a grunt of shock. Oh my, the commander murmurs, watching his men buckle under the assault. Damn bastards, the knight snarls. Do you have no pride as knights, ganging up 5 against 1? What the hell is he going on about? One enemy scoffs. Just let him be, another says. It's his last struggle before dying. You whelps, the commander warns them. He's still a trained high-ranking knight. Don't get careless. Even so, the numbers grind him down. A blow lands, and he buckles. Cook, the knight chokes, driven to one knee under the weight of 5 attackers. While the high-ranking knight blocks my front, he realizes the others keep cutting at me. It's an obvious trap, yet I can't escape it. They even took the rear. The commander looks on, almost admiring. This is the first time I've ever seen anyone hold out like this, he says. Elsewhere, the McCain elders cling to hope. Right, they say Logan did good running away. I hope he can at least continue the family's legacy. One of them prays, believing the young master has fled to safety. The commander gloats over his scheme. It was good thinking, not letting anyone know I had a high-ranking knight of my own. Now I just have to crush Patrick and take over McCain Castle, he plots. And as long as I get my hands on that. Then a rumble rolls across the field. The sound of cavalry troops, a soldier gasps. Lord, a scout screams, riding hard toward the command post. We spotted a unit of cavalry in the rear, he reports. There's around 300 of them. Cavalrymen, the commander frowns. Did McCain have more elite troops hidden away? What's peculiar, the scout adds, is that they're not carrying spears. The only weapons they have are small crossbows, he finishes, the riders leveling strange compact weapons instead of lances. Crossbows, the commander laughs. You mean the toys hunters use? Send the rear soldiers and archers to wipe them out. They're no elite troops, he says dismissively. They're just some trash soldiers. Yes, Lord, an officer answers, and moves to crush the riders he's been told to ignore. I'm not sure what you're talking about. The commander scoffs, right before the world proves him wrong. The cavalry raises their crossbows as one, 300 barrels swinging toward the enemy rear. The volley tears loose. Ack! A soldier screams, bolts punching through the ranks he was told were safe. Help! A dying man gasps. The dwarf forged crossbows shredding armor that spears never could. Stop! An officer shrieks, but the bolts keep coming, wave after wave into the panicking army. And behind a storm of bolts rides the man the elders thought had fled. Logan McCain never ran. He came back with an army. The battle for the McCain lands rages, banners of both armies clashing across the open field. On the enemy line, disbelief spreads. No one expected the McCain forces to field troops like these. The McCains had come with something the Empire's men had never seen before. Since when an officer demands, did their forces have soldiers like that? Their commander hesitates, unable to even name the weapon staring them down. Then the first volley tears in, and the front line reels in shock. Anyone who failed to raise a shield in time falls dead where they stand. Counterattack, an officer roars. Shoot back at them, return fire, but their own arrows fall short, dropping harmlessly a long way from the McCain lines. The arrows won't reach them, a soldier cries. It's the first time any of them has seen such a thing. How on earth, they ask, do the enemy's bolts fly so much farther than ours? How could this be? An officer breathes. In a single second, the entire rear has collapsed into chaos. They didn't even use magic, a knight snarls, just those damn crossbows. What kind of weapon did Patrick build? Bring up the cavalry, the commander orders. Send the horsemen from the front and catch those bastards. Yes, sir. The Empire's cavalry surges forward with a battle cry, charging straight for the crossbow line. Go, an officer screams. In them, ride them down. But on the McCain side, one figure only smiles. They're coming to us on their own, he notes. The charging riders slam headlong into a wall of bolts and drop from their saddles. In the chaos, a veteran mercenary laughs. Nice dodge, kid, he calls out. Grill, another fighter snaps, We don't have time for this. The battle's turning strange. Grill grins back. This kid's no joke. I'm not messing around, the boy shouts. Look behind you. The mercenary spins, confused. Now that he's tasted a real battle instead of sparring, it all clicks. I'm no genius, the young fighter says, just a kid who's finally awakened. Whatever happens, he tells himself, I can't afford to lose here. You've got to carry your brother's share too, a comrade reminds him. So he steels himself. I can't crumble now, not here. On the enemy side, confusion spreads. Why are they turning their backs? One asks, swinging their swords at empty air. Whatever the reason, a McCain fighter growls, this is our opening. Oh yeah, another agrees. That's what I'm talking about. The Empire's men falter, unable to hold the line against the sudden press. One young fighter cuts a knight down and blinks in surprise. I slashed him that easily. Then his eyes go wide as a fresh storm of bolts fills the sky. Arrows, he realizes. Across the field, a familiar red-haired figure moves through the smoke. That's Logan, someone gasps. It's Logan McCain, cutting his own path through the enemy ranks. Strike the ones holding the crossbows, and Empire Captain bellows. This is the Lord's order. Logan reads the enemy formation at a glance. A kite shield wall. He muses, a remarkable defense, I'll admit. So he adapts. Aim diagonally down toward the ground. He commands his crossbowmen. Fire at the earth in front of them. He repeats. The enemy captain frowns, not understanding. Fire, Logan shouts. The bolts skip and rake beneath the shields, and the horses scream and rear. Whoa, a rider cries as his mount bucks. Stay still, damn it, stay still. I'm falling. Another wails as he's thrown, the cavalry charge dissolving into a tangle of panicked horses. Dumb fucks, Logan mutters, watching the enemy's own strength turn against them. Good, he thinks. I made it in time to help Ronan hold the line. But his father is still out there. I swore to save my family this life. Logan reminds himself. There's no point winning the battle if I lose them. Kai, he barks to a lieutenant, take command. And then he breaks from the line and charges forward alone. What? His men shout. The plan was to stay out of their range. They protest. Mr. Logan, wait. Victory's right in front of us, one mutters, watching him go. Why is he trying to get himself killed? He's stronger than me, sure, another worries, but if he runs into an intermediate rank knight out there. Damn it, a mercenary swears. Fuck it. All of you, cover Mr. Logan. Deep in the enemy mass, an Empire knight rounds on Logan with fury. This little. I can't believe you charged me knowing you'd get stabbed, the knight snarls, blade sinking home. But Logan takes the wound and drives his own strike through, and the knight buckles. Something's off, Logan thinks, even as he fights. Something about the enemy isn't right. They're all throwing themselves at me recklessly, he notes. Why are they so desperate when they hold the upper hand? How? An enemy roars in frustration as Logan carves through another. Damn it all. Logan cuts deeper into the ranks, each swing dropping another soldier. When the dust settles for a breath, the survivors stare in disbelief. What on earth just happened? You, someone stammers, eyes fixed on the red-haired figure standing amid the fallen. I barely made it in time, Logan breathes, reaching the one he came to protect. The battle rages on around them, but for now, his family still stands. The battlefield has fallen silent, and every eye is locked on a single figure who shouldn't be here. They'd last seen him charging in with a Mercury core, cutting through the enemy from behind. This place is supposed to be far from there. So how did he tear all the way here, through so many enemies, alone? The realization spreads like a chill. Did he really take them all down by himself? An ally starts to ask when he got so strong, then stops himself. That doesn't matter right now. The fact that Logan is standing here at all means one thing. He says, it means their side has the upper hand. Of course, Logan answers without a trace of doubt. I see. The ally breathes, half in disbelief. You did great. On the other side, the enemy knights can barely process it. Did he just shove off two intermediate rank knights at the same time? A mere 20-year-old country bumpkin doing that? At that age, one of the mutters, I was toiling half to death just to become a knight at all. But Logan pushes the noise aside. None of that matters, because he intends to kill the enemy commander right here, right now. The commander studies him coldly. That one attack was enough to read him. Logan may not be a high-ranking knight yet, but he's already strong enough to handle most intermediate-ranking knights with ease. Logan does the math out loud. If he takes the intermediate knights, and someone else takes the high-ranking one, no, he decides for himself. He'll face the strongest of them personally. His own side tries to stop him. That one is too much for you, they warn. You've come far, but he's still a high-ranking knight. Logan doesn't listen. He explodes forward, aura roaring off his blade. In this state, he tells the older knight he calls father, even I could beat you. Trust me and leave him to me. For a long moment, there's only silence. Then, finally, the answer comes. Fine, but be careful, son. Logan turns to his true target. Let's make this quick and end it, father. The high-ranking knight's eyes narrow. He's coming straight at me, he thinks, and not the weaker one. Fury takes over. How dare you? You damn whelp. The knight roars, and they collide. But something is horribly wrong. The strike Logan lands far harder than it should. Steel screams against steel as the seasoned knight is driven back, step by step. How? The knight thinks, reeling. Even counting my wounds, I sense no remarkable power from him, no high level at all. Yet the plain fact that I'm being overwhelmed means only one thing. He's pushing himself far too hard, the knight decides. It's the only explanation that fits. Otherwise, he insists to himself, none of this makes any sense at all. Clinging to that excuse, the knight commits everything to one killing blow. But Logan slips it, and the knight staggers. Damn it, he grinds out. If only I weren't already wounded. Their blades grind together again, aura flaring where they meet. Logan reads him coldly. There isn't a single opening. He needs to seize a chance, not wait for one. Then an idea sparks. So that's an option too, he thinks. He lets the force gather in his sword, feeding it into a single deliberate trap. The knight feels it wrong at once. Logan's power is being pulled into his blade, drawn in and swallowed. Perfect, Logan thinks. He fell for it. With a sharp cry, Logan turns the exchange inside out and drives forward. There it is, he thinks. The knight has lost his center of gravity. Now, Logan tells himself, this is the perfect moment. He cuts and catches only the hem of the man's clothes. The knight tore himself clear at the last instant. He moved away that fast. Even Logan is caught off guard by the speed. No, Logan corrects himself. It isn't that he was slow. The knight simply refused to die. So he answers it properly, drawing on a divine sword secret he's kept in reserve. The knight's face drains white. I need to get away, quickly, he thinks. Damn it, but it's already too late. Logan unleashes the first form. Impossible, the knight whispers, as the technique tears through everything he thought he knew. The high-ranking knight, who never once believed a country boy could touch him, falls in a single stroke. A high-ranking knight brought down by cheap tricks, someone gasps. But it was never a trick. It was skill they never bothered to respect. Logan raises his voice over the stunned field. I, Logan McCain, have killed the enemy general with my own hands. The words ripple outward and panic follows. The high-ranking knight is down? This can't be. The Viscount too? They got the Viscount as well? Nobody can even find their own banner anymore. The enemy line breaks. What are you doing? One soldier screams at another. Are you crazy? We should surrender and at least save our lives. I don't want to die here, another sobs, throwing down his weapon. How can you? Someone starts to protest, but the collapse is already unstoppable. We surrender, they cry, one after another. Me too. I'm surrendering too. And then, from Logan's own ranks, a roar goes up. Long live young Master Logan. Long live the first young master, they chant, the men who once wrote him off as a hopeless failure. Long live Logan McCain. The name he was disowned for now thunders across a battlefield he just won. But Logan cuts the celebration short. The battle isn't over yet, you idiots. Because somewhere out on that broken field, the true mastermind is already fleeing, asking himself where it all went wrong. I prepared a whole 3 years for this battle. He seethes. I begged other nobles for help and gathered 100 knights, and that damn Ginger and his cavalry ruined every last piece of it. His only thought now is escape. If I can just get back to my own territory that way, he tells himself, I'll make it out of this alive. He reaches his own walls and bellows for entry. Open the gates. Your lord is back. But the men on the wall aren't looking at him. Something's coming, one of them says, pointing past his shoulder. Cavalrymen. A wave of them, riding hard, already at his home before he is. The mastermind's face collapses in horror. Logan didn't just win a battle. He got here first.